Greetings and salutations again from our normal spot here in the Canal of Solitude. And you know what? Today, no fishermen. I have the entire place all to myself. And I should apologize for, I committed at the beginning of the year to trying to make a video every week. And I tried to do that, but I don't know. It rained. And then I got sick, and then it rained again, and then my computer took like a huge dump. And it's been very hectic for the past month. And I've gotten behind on my client work and stuff. And so I have like a bunch of stuff, I have too much stuff I want to talk about. And it could fork like any number of different ways. And if I was an intelligent person with if I was serious about this at all, I would write it down, right, and like read it, really organize my thoughts. But I don't know. If I'm in front of the computer working, I should be working, like working on a game. So I don't think that is ever going to happen. I don't know. I just, it seems to me like, whenever I make like a China related video, like it gets like 400, 500 views. And whenever I do like stuff that I'm interested in, it gets like 19. So, it seems like, I don't know, God is like, made his will known to me, but, non serviam. I don't know. I just not that well, except for today. Today we are going to do like a little bit of China stuff. I want to show you this. I got Natasha here, right? Natasha. I'm a week or several weeks too late for my Natasha review for her to be relevant. I got her immediately, but it took her a while to get here, and then it took me even longer to get out here and film. Review. She's very poorly made. She has a lot of genetic birth defects, it seems to me. She doesn't have like much in the way of bones, or I don't know. I just don't know if she's going anywhere in life. I don't know if I'll try to be a good dad to her and like keep her off the pole, and I'll do what I can. Well. What do we have here? How did this happen? Anyway, and I hunted around on like people were making the allegation like the Chinese have they've gone crazy with like the anti-black, and I argued against them like that. No, that's probably not true. And I went on top, but well, it turns out these are extremely popular, and there is one, and it's the one that's been circulating around. There's basically one video. It's the video of the company that originated the product. There's like already dozens of knockoffs. I think this one's a knockoff. Now you can get like giant black babies, and it seems like, well, I don't know. I feel like a jerk, like always trying to explain China, but my impression is that well, they've never seen a black person in real life, like ever, only ever on TV. So like they live in like the realm of like Eskimos or elves or like or Jews or like mythological people like that, and they're like not, so any feelings that they're gonna have like isn't based on any kind of like it's just because it's funny, right? It's funny because she's black, and black people look funny if you've never seen one, and then it's funnier again if she like has no bones and you can like throw her head on the ground and like it makes a splat. Like there's two funny things, so you can't deny how funny that is. But beyond that, like there's no prejudice there at all, and you can get it in other colors. You can get like a white baby and splat that on the ground. But yeah, they think it's charming. And you can get like giant black babies, and they're like, there's AI generated like for your child, like get this giant black baby and have your little Chinese baby sleep in the giant black baby's lap. It's that. So that's my review. Sorry if that's not what you were hoping for. And then the other thing is that I got caught up. Well, Antelope Hill, my distributor, and my friends. I would call them my friends. I think I like them better than they like me, but well, we'll call each other. We'll call them friends. Um, um, yeah, they got in. Yeah, they've been in like the news, not the news, but they've been. Their name has been bounced around a lot by like people, like Jeremy Boring and like apparently the Daily Wire. They went to a Christian book thingy in Ogden, Utah, of all places, and they yeah, and because they distribute things that are the kind of books that you're not allowed to read, like actual banned books. Um, um, like some people were very upset about that, you know, anti-Septicism and things of this nature. And so like attacks started coming from like everywhere, but not just from the directions that you would expect, like, oh, you know, the racist, the anti-Semitism, but like it looks like people have actually put some thought into like, you know, the attacks that we're going to level against this guy. Like, how do we actually break up these people, like undercut their support, like, you know, and like we're going to go after like, well, they're less anti-Muslim than, you know, like other parts of like the right, and they're less anti-China and less anti-Russia and stuff like that. I don't know. I don't want to speak for them. I have some thoughts about that, and I'll eventually get to my point. This is gonna be the point. It doesn't matter. I don't know. I've been in this subculture. I call it a subculture for I guess 27 years, since about 1999. I've been on the alt-right, before it was called the alt-right. And there have been a lot of changes. Over that time. Like what's grown rapidly, and every like 6 to 8 years, the size of the thing like grows by 10. A whole bunch of new people come in, right? Where did they come from? It's a good question. Or where would they come from? You know, what does red pilling mean, right? It means that, you know, you took the red pill, and means now you have newly been brought in. So where were you before? You were blue pill before, right? So mostly these come from, mostly they came from the left, and then like very, very recently they started to come from, you know, once you get built up to a certain point, then all the midwits start, you know, piling in. Like, there's no way around it, right? If you want a certain point of view, like a good point of view, like the point of view that people should have, it's just the cost of doing business. Like at one time, you had a like a movement that was all smart people, and if you met somebody like you know who whistled your whistle, or I just made that up. You know, you knew like what kind of person he was. He'd be like really cool. You could trust him. Like he'd be, you know, he'd fun to hang out with and stuff like that. And it was like a really small group, and then the group gets bigger, like it's 10 times as big, and there's all new leaders, and like the people who like formed the group initially, they all get forgotten, and like get, you know, and you know, nobody even remembers who they are. Like, nobody knows who I am. Do you know who I am? Like, of course you would not. I was never that important to begin with, but you know, I'm even less important now. I don't know. Maybe someday I'll talk about my pedigree, if anybody cares. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I do want credit. My reptile brain wants credit, but I got to remind myself that it's not good. You know, it's not good to like, you know, obsess yourself with that kind of a thing. You know, just, you know, speak your truth, live your life. Where was I going with that? Oh yes. Okay, so the iteration. How many iterations are we? The iteration immediately before this one. This one I'm going to call like the 2016, whatever you think of MAGA currently, like that was definitely a part of it. Like the 4chan version, we'll call it the 4chan version. 4chan version, like which then morphed into the Margaret. So I guess it's like 2 generations back. Before 4chan got involved in the quote-unquote alt-right in a big way, the generation immediately before that was the Richard Spencer and his wife and the Andy Noacky and the Matt Parrott and the Matthew Heimbach. He knows who I am. and me and some other people. And the thing that people were mostly concerned with, like the thing that both people talked, like now it's like Camp of the Saints and culture of critique, and it's all good stuff, all great stuff. I feel like the previous iteration was slightly more intellectual, right? Like with it was more Heidegger and Guénon and a lot of oh God, what's his name? Alexander Dugin. People were obsessed with Alexander Dugin, Heidegger, and 4PT, which is fourth political theory. And me being like the contrarian jackass that I am, I was extremely irritated by this, by 4PT and by Dugin. I am less irritated with him now because I don't know, like I said, like the thing is like 100 times bigger now. It's got all new leaders, it's got all new everything, and that whole discussion is kind of like lost. Like once in a great while I can encounter somebody like from that space at that time, and it's like, it's like running into like another American, like in central China or whatever, or up in the Himalayas. Like, hey, how are you doing? I'm like, where'd you come from? Anyway, the Duginist. This is a vindication of Antelope Hill. This is my apologia for Antelope Hill. The Duginist position is complicated, and in my opinion, it is more traditional than the current version. The current version, like all the 4chan guys, like I think, and the millennials and all that, I think they're well intended. I think they're good people, and I think they're on the right track, and I support them. I feel like the dad sometimes, but it's all good. It's all good stuff. On the other hand, during their red pilling, they brought a lot of, there's no nice way to put this, but they brought a lot of leftism with them into the space. It's very materialistic, right, and very ideological, right? Like if you say like, but I guess the point I'm trying to come to is the difference between ideology and blood, right? The current alt-right is more obsessed with ideology than with, what do I mean by that? I mean, like, so Russia's a good example, or you could use any country as an example. So Dugin himself is anti-communist, or Russia in general, like, is very anti-Soviet and very anti-communist, but they kind of weave a lot of Soviet things. They kind of champion like the Soviets in a way. Like, how does that make sense? Like, how can you be anti-communist and then like fly the Russian flag on your tank, right? How does that make sense? Well, it makes sense because your grandfather or their grandfather like fought under that flag and fought and died, for their homeland. Their homeland was invaded, by Germany, and they fought, under this flag and like died for this flag. So what do you do with that? Like, even if like, in 2026, you're completely opposed, like, to the Soviet Union and completely opposed to communism and all its empty promises. Do you just like bury your granddad, who's like, in the cemetery and who like probably has like the hammer and sickle like on his headstone? What do you do with that? Or if you're like, if you're opposed to America's involvement in the Second World War, as I am, as I believe many of you are, think maybe we fought on the wrong side of that war. But you had like a granddad or a great granddad who like fought who like landed at Normandy, or like in the case of my granddad, he was at Boeing, like designing um, uh, bombers to annihilate the Germans and the Japanese. Like, do you? I mean, it's a very leftist thing to do, right? To just kind of plow under your own family members. They do that a lot in Japan. Well, they do that a lot. Well, they do that in Germany, and they do that a lot in Japan. Like, you've committed this crime, granddad, and like you have children like confronting granddad, like, how do you eat whales, granddad? You're such a piece of shit, granddad. How could you have done this? And it, like, you know, it divides families. So, in a way, like in an ideological sense, like, yes, those things are mutually opposed. In a traditional sense, they are not, right? That symbols mean different things at different times to different people. And I don't think that, well, I think I'm allowed to say this. I asked them, they told me I'm allowed to say this, that they are Orthodox Christian, as am I. And so they would be like influenced by that kind of thing. I think it's a better way. I think continuity of, like, I don't want to say race, but okay, race or blood. I think continuity of blood is more important than, well, anything really. And it's definitely more important than like a symbol. So if your father like fought under, you know, fought in a Zionist war for the Zionists, you know, you don't disavow your father, right? You obviously don't make that mistake again, but you know, it's not contradictory if you think in a traditional way. If you think in an ideological way, which is what, you know, all the attacks from Antelope Hill against Antelope Hill are doing, like how can you, you know, China, how can you, Soviet Union, how can you, you know, how can you support these things, right? It even begs the question, I don't know, should I, for decades they've been scared to answer the question, is China communist? Maybe I'll answer that question today. In the past, I've gotten burned very, very badly. I've lost friends. I've lost many friends, many friends over, like, you know, refusing to toe the party line. But maybe maybe things are different now. Maybe positions have softened a bit. Oh, so the reason that well, one of the other reasons that I brought up Antelope Hill is that this book came up here. This book right here. This is volume 1 of 5. It's discussions of running the country. Oh, just as an aside, my kids, like, their Chinese is like super bad, like super bad, and nobody taught them. That's another whole can of worms I don't want to get into right now. But so I've been like refocusing. Well, my oldest, who is 18, like, he tried to go out and get a job, and he got fired within like 15 minutes because he can't read. This is not. I was not party to this at all. But why am I talking about this? Oh yeah. So now I'm trying to, like, you know, get their reading. So that we're reading Charlie and the Chocolate Factory in Chinese, like, every morning, and like, I'm looking up words, just like plow through it. It's the only way to learn, in my opinion. Just like, you just pick a book and you read through from beginning to end, and, you know, you just plow through. You know, the first couple days you'll be going like a sentence at a time, then you move to like a paragraph at a time, then you'll be doing pages at a time, then chapters at a time. We're up to chapters at a time. Oh, right. And I don't know, I just thought it was funny. Remember, like, chapter like 4 or 5, the crazy Indian prince in Charlie and the Chocolate Factory is like is Prince Pondicherry. The translator thought he was like really funny, and he translated that Pondicherry as Bundi Zhili, which is local administration. Bundi Zhili, yeah. Local administration. He translated his name as local administration because he thought those sounded the same. Relevant to nothing. I just thought that was funny. Anyway, so this is about the administering of the country. I am 1 chapter in. It is the most boring thing I have ever read. And we're coming up on 20 minutes. This is a good video. I have other stuff I want to talk about. I want to talk about propaganda. I want to talk about I want to talk about how I called I said, didn't I say, long game against Israel, the heel turn, and then turn back. I said it a year ago. I'm never going to get any credit for that. I never get any credit. People are, nope. Here's the thing. You always want to be like, you want to be the normie guy that like figures things out. That's the guy that is going to get all the credit, right? After like you can be on the fringe and like you can gather all the evidence and like you can make the case, but you're never going to be the one that gets the credit. You're never going to be the one. No one remembers what you said. They only remember that you're crazy, right? So you might have called everything exactly right. Nobody remembers that. Nobody remembers what you said. Oh, like William, he's that crazy QAnon guy. Like, well, no. I don't know. Again, reptile brain wants credit for this, and it's not a good thing to pursue. Not a good thing to pursue. I'll just make videos about it, and whatever happens, happens, and just go about my life. Where was I going? Oh, right, this book. So, I had a thought reading this book. It is the most boring book. It's not actually written. Well, it kind of is. It is a compilation of speeches by Xi Jinping about the governance of China. It is so dull. It's one of those books that is so dull that your mind wanders. You're like your eyes are moving like across the words, but like your mind is somewhere else. You get to the bottom of the page, realize that you don't remember anything that happened. You go back, okay, where was I? And then you do it again, and then it happens again, and this happens over and over and over. And he's like, I don't know. You have to read it aloud just to internalize it. It's so dull. And it reminds me of, and then it set the train of thought that it sent me down was like, you know what this reminds me of? This reminds me of General Conference, like Mormon General Conference. If you're not Mormon or you're not familiar with Mormons, that may mean nothing to you. This is not a casual observation because, moi, from Utah, I was born and raised Mormon, and I've been in China here for 32 years, pretty much, though, solidly, with very few gaps. That's not a casual, it's really similar. So, I don't know, I just thought, and then I kept thinking about okay, that fits, and that fits, and that fits. There's so many things that fit, which I will get to in a second. Where was I? I lost my train of thought, jumped the track. Oh, right. So the reason, I get into these arguments or discussions all the time, about China, and I've learned what to avoid or how to avoid it. And I try to come up with strategies to maybe make it work better. And one thing I have noticed is that you can't just tell people that they're wrong. Okay, all your perceptions are wrong. Everything you've been taught is wrong. You've been lied to, and you're a dummy. That doesn't work, obviously. Because consider it from everybody's been in that position where you've been wrong. Where do you go, right? You got to give somebody a place to go. You got to give them a compelling alternative to the theory that the model of reality that they believe. Don't tell them they're wrong. Give them a better option. So here's the better option. Is China communist? Well, in a way, kind of, yeah. But a much better model for what it's like is the Mormon Church. The similarities are striking. So, what year is it? Last year, every 5 years, the Communist Party of China has this big meeting, and the name in Chinese is Wunian Dahui, which is Dahui is big meeting. So it's literally just big meeting, the 5-year big meeting English is, I think they try to translate into something more sophisticated, like General Assembly or whatever, but it's just big meeting. It's a big meeting. And it is, the similarities to General Conference are uncanny. They are uncanny. You have, okay, so in Mormonism, in General Conference is a thing that happens every 6 months. Either you go to like the Tabernacle in Salt Lake City, or you get it most likely via satellite on this big screen in the Stake Center, and you get dressed up and you watch TV in the Stake Center. And the format is basically this: you will get the blandest speeches like you have ever heard in your life. Absolutely content free. Like there's nothing. It's like just reaffirming like I'm for good things and I'm against the bad things. And nobody, like, you will never hear gasps coming from like the audience in General Conference. They'll play songs and they'll give these things, just like really, really. I can't even think of an example. Like it's so smooth brain. Like I can't even. And then like cute stories, like cute faith affirming stories. Again, like nothing radical. Just like faith affirming, like nothing that will, right? Throw in some stuff about the pioneers, throw in some stuff about the founders, right? Okay, so you get some of that, and then like between these, you'll get songs, like I said, and then you'll get everybody in all of Mormonism will vote. Like, do you believe that, that the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints is the best church in the world, and it speaks and the prophet, speaks directly to God, and like they're prophet seers and revelators, like, and then do you support these guys? And it's everybody raises their hand. Like, do you vote? Yes, I support these people, and everybody always votes yes, right? Which bugged me. Maybe I'll go into my experience with Mormonism someday, but as an 8-year-old like little Mormon, it really bugged me that this is supposed to be a vote and everybody voted yes. Every single person raised their right hand. The contest seemed to be like, who would win, because like who would win is always predetermined. Of course, everybody's going to vote yes, but like who could get their arm the squarest, right? And hold it up the longest. And so I was like, and then they would always ask, like, is anybody opposed? And like nobody ever raises their hand. Nobody's ever opposed. But I'm like 8-year-old me is like, I'm opposed. Like just to make the point. Like this is supposed to be an election. Like you can't all be on the same side. Like my parents like, put your arm down, stupid child. Okay, so that format is exactly the format of the big meeting in China. Exactly like that. You have like your party members like arrayed in seats, like in front of everybody else. It's broadcast everywhere. People will get up and like tell really cute stories about virtue and like being for the things that everybody loves and against the things that everybody hates. Cute stories about the revolution and that one time that Mao Zedong like shared his lunch with this one guy and how it warmed my heart and made me love China and made me love communism, stuff like that. Like it's complete kind of like opposite of what they, I don't know, like the South Park version of China, which like has the cops like running around with guns like blowing people's heads off for like no reason. No. The CCP is really, really, well, Hexia is the principle. Harmony, okay, which is its own kind of nightmare in a way, actually. On the one hand, like it's reassuring that like your leaders are this dull. Like if Xi Jinping like shows up to the big meeting with white hair instead of dyed black hair, like that's the news, right? That's the thing, because nothing else happened at the meeting. That's the news. Or he shook hands with this person and not this person, or his back was facing this guy when in previous meeting it was facing another guy, or he put his name card on top of his teacup and does not want any more tea. Right? The people come around like to give the tea refills. He covered up his tea. What could this possibly mean? What could this possibly mean? You want any more tea, or refusing to shake somebody's hand or whatever. That's what those are the things people talk about because nothing else happening. Right? So very similar in that sense. And then also like the succession. The succession it's just like Mormonism. The Mormons have like this long march from Nauvoo to Salt Lake City, like this long march. It's like their Trail of Tears. Is like many horrible things, many trying things happened, like on the Pioneer Trek from Nauvoo to Salt Lake. Many miracles. God manifested his displeasure or pleasure, by putting a cow in a place. Like I was looking for, I needed a cow, and then God brought me a cow. I prayed that I could find like a path through the mountains, and God led me through the path through the mountains, like stuff like that. And it's kind of like the Iliad in a way. Whereas like your membership in this group and your prospects for advancement are in a way tied to this experience. Like if you're a pioneer Mormon, like that makes you head and shoulders above like all the other Mormons. Like people regard you as more legitimate. It's like to the point that, well, okay, so me myself, we are related to the Pack family. Like, my dad, he's very into this. So John Pack was a kind of a goon for Brigham Young, like literally, like a hitman. And my dad, who was like the most straight-laced, party believing Mormon like you could possibly think of, and he would be against like organized crime in any other context, but in the context of like our ancestor, he thinks it's just adorable that he's like this unwashed strong man for Brigham Young. And he commissioned this novel, John Pack is his name, the irreducible John Pack, or the irredoubtable John Pack, or something like that. And it's like he self-published it, I believe. Yeah, he self-published it, like handed it out to the family like one Christmas. And I have a copy. And wow, this guy is just really a scumbag, right? He's like, during this is during polygamy time. So he would this John Pack guy had no job, just rode around doing organized crime stuff. And he had several wives on farms, scattered all over the place. And his job was when he wasn't out doing Mormon goon stuff, he would he would visit one of these wives one at a time at their farms, visit his kids a couple weeks out of the year, knock up his wife, make new kids, and basically just resupply. What a piece of shit. And in any other context, we would denounce this person as the absolute piece of garbage that he was. But because he is our link to the Mormon Iliad, he is an awesome guy, and his foibles are to be forgiven. Well, it turns out the Chinese have. Oh, and the Mormons prefer it that way, right? It's not being forced onto the people. It's this is very grassroots, the aristocratic nature of the Mormon hierarchy, and also the same in China. They also had their long march, from wherever it was up to Yan'an in Xi'an, and they endured many trials, and the gods showed their favor and disfavor, and many miracles happened, literally that's the atheism doesn't go very far. There's atheism in the sense that like they don't want any organized churches that, you know, loyal to a foreign country, like that kind of atheism. But like in like geomancy and looking for signs in birds and water and in mountains, and like, you know, magical like premonitions, like fortune telling, that's very much part of like Chinese communism. It's all over those stories. And like, you know, in contemporary China, it's like it's not like they don't pull. It's not the best and the brightest that get to be in the leadership cast. It is, are you related to this story really? And are you related to one of the founders? Are you a child of the founders? Can you trace your lineage back to the struggles of the early Communist Party before it was established? And again, not forced on the Chinese people. The Chinese people very much prefer it this way. They would prefer that their leaders have this legitimacy, you know. So, you know, Xi Jinping, like wild card that he is, like anti-system as he may be, talk about that. I have, but I can talk about it again sometime. Like he has to be connected, you know, in some way, and he is. Anyway, I talked about a bunch of stuff. That's 36 minutes. I think that's good. I think we're gonna get sunburn. If you can watch this on 10x speed and watch my head get sweaty and red. Anyway, yeah, feels good to get out here and start doing stuff again. Next time I want to talk about Zeimergy's law of evolving system dynamics. Next week. I promise, I commit next week that I will come out and make another video. So, cheers.